right there, $2.50 sell-off from those highs, and still going on down. Looking at the option chain as we're just going down and down and down, my first guess is to look at calls in the event that we do bounce. I'll be looking at the February 2nd 4560 calls on SPX, and then the let's see right there. Nope, that's futures. I'm sorry. I got to switch over to my SPX contracts. So yeah, 4570 calls on the SPX. 45. Let's do 4580s. 4580s, and then the 4550s on the puts. If we do break down below S1, I'll start looking at playing puts. Same old song and dance. Looking at the VIX, we are currently hovering around 2173, which is an important pivot for the VIX. Remember, we are on the heels of 4 very strong bull days in a row. Yes, Friday was a strong red day. However, if you look Friday afternoon, we got that strong bounce and then that big afternoon rally. So I include that Friday, Monday, Tuesday, and then, of course, today we're on the heels of 4 bullish days. Let's see if we can have some follow-through. All right. So I've got the global markets right here as well. And let me get the... And there's a YouTube link for the channel. All right, so we got a little green here off of S1, and VWAP right now 8, all obviously downward trending because of this action here, letting the things play out. If we do get a big pop here, I'll look at tranching in more call credit spreads for Friday if we do pop up. If we get some bullish action, I'll be looking at 45.95 as the top of the day. Now that's for the futures, which translates to about 459 on SPY. There's a strong bull candle off of S1, climbing back up, climbing back up. Taking a look at the Google action around, I want to see how they react to that huge pop. Obviously, there's probably going to be some people taking profits off of that. It topped out at a little over 3,000, so 30.33. Amazon, similar action there. Microsoft, big green. Apple's big green here. Tesla is getting a little bit of a bounce after some strong bear action. That's pretty common price action for them. Facebook, and then Nvidia, Berkshire, and JP Morgan. Let's take a look at the tech sector, the X sectors. XLF, very strong day yesterday. Been climbing up all day, and now dead flat going into the morning. All the other X's are pretty much doing the same kind of action, just mimicking each other. SPY still holding S1. All right, so 2 green candles here off of S1, trying to climb up. Not getting all the big follow through. Looks like we may be facing a potentially chop fest so far. Not a lot of big action one way or the other. All right, now we got a little bit of effort here from the bulls. Let's see if we can pop up. Popping through the VWAP, just climbing back up here. Took out the prior highs. $45.74 on SPX. All right, can we retrace back up to R1? Looks like we got a little bull action there. Nice little healthy upwards trending candle. NASDAQ took out that big red right there on their end. SPY trying to do the same, make up that effort. And there's a nice follow on to green. All right, so smackdown. NASDAQ smacked down on that high. Not looking good for them. They need to have some follow-on. So more of the same from yesterday, just getting smacked. So what I would like to see is to get that bull pop up, maybe match highs, maybe go a little higher, and then tranche in more call credit spreads for Friday. That's what I'm looking at. But I need them to follow through. But NASDAQ, once again, same exact action as yesterday, selling off green candles here. Let's take a look at XLF. Green candle on them. The bonds, big spike up in the bonds there, rallied up off of open. And the rates are up at 1.7, so gave back a little bit after topping out there at 1.809. So SPY definitely a little bit more bullish than the tech sectors up here. We've got XLF that's supporting a little bit, and NASDAQ is trying its best to give back that green candle. Alrighty. So, we are 11 minutes into the market here, and so far, NASDAQ's about dead flat from open, just a little bit, not trying to climb, but we can't do it. Just got smacked in the face. Big engulfing candle red here on the NASDAQ. And all the way back down in SPY. I'm personally careful taking PCSs today. I do think that we're going to have downside into the later half of the day. So if you do take PCSs 0-day, make sure they're way on out there. At least that's what I'm going to be doing because of we've had credible bullish days in a row, and even then it was weak all throughout the morning. Of course we had that bull rally into the day, which was probably an expectation of the Google earnings because obviously big money always knows. And then right now it's continuation, and here's a big green candle. Absolutely smoked and now formed new lows, which is incredibly bearish. So just be on guard as now down we go again. Right there. Instant reversal candles. NASDAQ new lows. VIX popping off of this lower pivot. And now red candles through S1, which is a considerable support. And down we go. Just a cool little $2 reversal right there. Patience will pay off in this chop fest. We need to get a bounce early here, or this will get ugly quick. A little bit of bear action here. It's eating up all the greens. It's been straight selling for the past 2 hours, going on 2 hours now. Coming back up to the lows, right under S1. Right now, nothing much to look at here. A lot of reversals, big green, bullish buy up, and then immediate reversal down to S1. And now we're just hanging out here. Got a few minutes here until the morning range is set, about 20 minutes. And we're waiting for that to happen. Patience will pay off. NASDAQ coming back down again. Same thing as yesterday. NASDAQ leading the selling action here. Coming on down. Let's take a look at the global markets. German markets are looking very heavy. Everything else is pretty much the same as what has been going on. They've got a little less than 2 hours left in their markets. NASDAQ's been getting smoked. Definitely smoked. They topped out at 15,258, and down we go. This thing breaks the bottom, it's going down. Like, this is looking iffy. I'm bringing puts up. And I will sling some puts on the morning hours. 45.50s. Let's go with the 45.50s. That's what I'll be looking at here. Enter on the break lower and pop in and out. So Google's selling down at the bottom of their range. Amazon selling off here. That's a little almost 100 points right there, from 3102 down to the bottom 3000s. And let's see, Apple's getting smoked all the way down, and Facebook is as well. So all of tech is getting creamed, and SPY is hollowing out that range just below S1. VIX getting a strong bounce. Straight red candles, same exact thing we've seen for 4 days in a row now. This is what they want you to do, though, and then you start taking puts here, and then you get smoked on a bounce. So just be careful right here. It's coming up on that 10 o'clock time, and we're just under S1. More downside, flushed. Flushed. That right there is going on a $2 move off of highs and still going on down to S2. All right, I'm playing puts. I am going to play some puts. Let's see here, looking at the 45.50s. And down we go. Bouncing off of S2. Could be people just going risk off here because, like I said, we've had 4 very bullish days in a row, and now it's midweek. I did expect have some bullish action into the morning, and then I was going to look at playing downside positions into the afternoon. This is a little bit more aggressive than I expected, but we'll see. There's a green candle. And green off of S2. I don't believe nothing until I see it break up through S1. I will not take a position once that because this is just getting smoked. We'll see, though. It is 9:51 Eastern Time. All right. Yep, send more troops to Europe. I saw that. How do you chart your support and resistance levels? I have a One of my mods created a custom indicator where all I got to do is plug my values into there and it populates it onto the screen. So good stuff. So all right, so bounce off of S2, green candle up through S1. I'm not looking to take anything until I pop up above S1 there. I don't want any kind of fake outs. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions about the SR levels. I do have 2 videos on them, so go take a look at those. Let me know what you think. Big top wick here on SPY. XLF sold off hard. So they were green. That had that nice green candle wicked out, and then bam, sold off the bottom. So I'm starting to see a lot of selling action come across the board. All the X's are starting to get more and more red here. Untradable action so far. Just above just under S1, at least for long positions. We need to get start to reclaim that level. Nasdaq needs to come back up and reclaim the 300 points we've sold off, 250 points. So 260 points of Nasdaq has sold off in the past couple of hours here. So I need to start remaking some of that up. Otherwise, my bearish stance will get a little bit earlier in the day as opposed to just later in the day. A little bit of green, testing S1 again. Testing S1 again. Oof. If we stay down here, I'll be looking at playing some crawl credit spreads in the lower 4600s. I don't see us popping up into the 4600s today. The 45.95 is probably me personally. And then, of course, Friday I'll be tranching in for more positions on the Friday positions. I'd probably maybe look the upper 4600s for Friday. Another rejection of S1. What do you think is more important to learn first, market awareness or VPA? Oh, man. I think you got to do them both at the same time. I think they're both very, very incredibly important. You got to be looking at, obviously, volume price analysis and the candles. But the market awareness is incredibly important. Being aware of what's going on, the conditions, global conditions, not to mention the Nasdaqs, all the other ETFs, indexes, and of course the Big Ten. The Big Ten. So I think it's very important to monitor those conditions. A few minutes ago, we were selling off on volume. Was it gut intuition or something that stopped you from taking puts? There's a couple of reversal candles here. We are basing down. Not to mention, we are coming up on our 10:05 time frame. I want to see the important levels start to be taken out before we start to look at puts. I want to play the breakouts because this first 30 minutes, there's a lot of volume pumping in and out. There's a lot of reversals and crazy candles being swayed one way or the other. So I just want to be careful. Here we go, testing the S2 again. Straight wicks on these candles here coming up on the 10:05. Now, do we get that last second hollow out to the bottom before we bounce? If we bounce, or do we just continue on falling, or just maybe come back up here? NASDAQ trying to get some upward Momo, but no work. All right, I took a position here. I've got the 45.75 calls right here to see if we can get a bounce. Speculatory bounce here off of the bottom. I'm seeing a couple of bottom wicks. I'm seeing enough action on the NASDAQ. See if we can get at least a temporary relief buy off these things. As we go upwards. There's a little action. Come on, baby. VWAP, reject. If you are in that position or in a position, go ahead and start taking profits. We're up considerably right now. Let's see if we can get through VWAP and reclaim the session open. There's some green. Let's go, baby. There's some green. NASDAQ's coming back up. I'm watching the NASDAQ, watching the VIX come off. I'm watching the VWAP come up. I'm still in this position. There's about 40%-ish. Let's go up here, baby. Come on. All right, I'm going to try to post the exit as quick as I can, but I'll call it out here when I can. Sorry if I'm missing your comments. I'm just managing this position. There's 10.20. There's 10.10, 10.10, 220. NASDAQ still following along. There's some nice, healthy green candle. I'm colorblind today. Don't tell my commander that. 15, 140, 455, 70 coming up to the top of the range. And we climbing. And we climbing. Let's see if we can get to the top of that range. Let's see if we can get top of that range, top of that range, top of that range. I'm going to do the smart thing here and trim some of this position. And booyah, trim some. Come on. All right, bam. Got my 12 filled. Trimmed half at 12. And we're going. Come on. What else can we get? What can you do for a Klondike bar? All right. Thanks, Graham. Appreciate that. Yeah. That was well timed. That was well timed. All right. Still got half this position remaining. Half this position remaining. Not Romania, remaining. I'm going to go ahead and take half of this here, I think. Oh, man, still come on down. Had 1140 fill on that. Let me see if I can get a rebuild here. Watching the NASDAQ. I don't want this thing to get smoked. Candle still holding. Candle still holding. Candle still holding. Let's put in a 12 fill. Can I get 12 again? Can I get 12 again? What can I do? Yeah, I'll take that. 11 off of the rest. I don't want to be greedy. Not 111. I wish. 11. There we go. All right, completely out of that position. Completely out of that position. Thank you, VSC. Appreciate that. All right, good deal. Sorry, I'm missing the YouTube comments. I was trying to manage that play. Booyah. All right, so it was looking iffy there. I didn't even because of our our bearish nature there. It was looking a little hairy, more so than our normal. Hey, just let's tank a little bit. It was just a lot of top wicks, a lot of selling off. I was starting to get a little iffy on my bullish stance for the morning time, so I was getting ready to start flipping. And then, of course, I saw some bottom wicks come in. I saw the VIX start to come off, and bam, we entered that just in the right time, and we got our play. I cleared 60% profits on that, if anyone's asking. Red candles. Thank you, Uncle Bill. Appreciate that. Nice motto. Well done. When you're talking about SPS strikes, how should we convert that to SPY? There's a conversion value. So what I do is today it's 1429. I calculate it every morning. Take SPX, subtract 1429, 14.29, and divide by 10. However, if we're on the fly and you don't have time to do that, I would say subtract 2. So on SPY. So what I'm usually doing on SPY is 455. I'm looking at the 453s and then the 457s. 457 calls, 453 puts. And we'll go from there. All right, this candle needs a hold. We are above VWAP. We are holding the 8. 8 is starting to cross up. What I want to do is see the 8 EMA start to climb here. I want us to start to see to build some buying action in and the VIX to continue to come off here. Here's a little green candle follow on. Maybe we could test the top of the range. I'd love to see this test the top of the range. That's not something we did yesterday. If we look back on yesterday's action, way down here, we had this big little bounce, didn't get there, fell. We didn't get there. We didn't actually touch the top of the range here till somewhere around between 11 and 11:30 Eastern time. So I'd love to see a little more bullish action here to come off that lows and not have the sellers continue to control the morning. But if we do, then so be it. Then so be it. We will play it as it comes. You're welcome, Josh. You're welcome. Huge 20K open interest on zeros. Yep. So it all depends on the dollar amounts. I'd like to break that up. I'm trying to watch the flow here on the 44.70s and 50s. If I see a large amount of order flow come in for that, obviously I'm thinking that the expectation market is to come up here. Now I do expect 45.70 to be taken again, although it's not quite looking at it at the moment. That's just my expectations. What's up, W Dog? Off to Hawaii, using them profits to go to Hawaii. I love it. Well done, W Dog. All right. If anybody has any questions about that play I took, let me know. Or how I managed that play. You notice I didn't just smoke all the exits at once. I tiptoed out of that position. And that's how you catch those runners. People ask me all the time, how do you catch runners? Every time I try to hold a runner, it ends up going flat or reverse. And then every time I try to let the runner run, or I do cut the position early, it actually ends up running. And my answer to you is take risk off the table. If you've got a position like that, for example, that I just did, tiptoe out. If you want to leave one or two contracts, so you take your contracts here, you exit and you tiptoe out as it comes out, and then you'll leave a couple of runners, and you let the one or two contracts, a couple of remaining contracts, go as long as you can to see if you get some more oomph out of that. And if you catch a runner, I mean, you can get some nice big profits. And then right now you would, me personally, exit. So it's all about probabilities here. Catching a runner is hard to do because you bring in emotions, you bring in price action, not to mention the market doesn't necessarily want to run all the time. So you got to play smart. And letting the whole position try to run for a runner is not smart. All right, NASDAQ still climbing up there. See if we can get to the top of that train. I don't even know why I said that word. That didn't even make any sense. It was ridiculous. All right, top of the morning range, 455.85 going up to 456.38. Yeah, buddy. So we've got the 8 crossing through VWAP. We're still holding above VWAP. NASDAQ looking very strong. Let's take a look at Europe. What's Europe doing? FTSE is climbing back up. Swiss, which is looking beat down all day, is starting to climb, as well as the Deutsche market. Let's come here, 46.03. Yeah, buddy. You make me laugh when you sell silly things that make no sense. Yeah, I do too. I'm glad to get a joke out of it. That's funny. I am not a wordsmith for sure. Chris just says, I just want to know more why you took that play. Pretty sure you're psychic. Nope, definitely not psychic. So there's a lot of things, and obviously, again, I'll tip my hat to veterans session ranges. Those things are ridiculous. On top of that, you saw how quickly I observed the trade. My mind was starting to flip bearish. It was like the meter was almost going bam, and then flip over. However, I saw bottom wicks. This candle right here on the NASDAQ was really telling to me. We are nearing in on that 10:05 time frame. Even if you were wrong, you could still hold on for the 10:05 reversal there. But I saw the bottom wicks. I saw this candle on the top wick start to form on the VIX, and knowing this propensity for this level right here and a red candle. So I saw the red. I saw the bottom wicks across the board starting to form right on S2, and then I entered that play. I was trying to get in under 7. It was like 690, 680. I was trying to get under 7, but eventually I think right around 710, 720. I clicked in a couple of points above the ask. I think I eventually got in at 750, and then bam, it went above. I actually clicked in 780, and I got filled at 750. So that gave me some breathing room there, because I know with the long 0DT positions like that, those premiums fluctuate quite aggressively here. And I knew that as long as I let the price action climb into my position and then go up, it was going through. Now, very, very critical position. I was looking to exit right over here. I like this strong candle that didn't immediately sell off. If this candle was very red down, I'm out that position. I do not want to see an immediate follow-on red candle. I'll show you a perfect example. You come down here. This is a perfect example. I do not want to see this crap right here. If I see a nice green followed by immediate reds, no bueno. I'm not going to hold through that because there's a good chance this is going to happen. I want to see follow-on. I want to see this right here. I want to see what we saw today. I want to see at least this. No sell-off. And now we're still climbing. So, anyway, to summarize all that giant word vomit right there, VIX, top wicks, bottom wicks on the NAS and the SPY, and then, of course, the 10:05 time frame. It's a deadly, deadly combination if you could put all those together and understand and comprehend what's going on. Highly encourage you. One of the main benefits of joining that Tier 4 is that not only do you get the AM, PM ranges, but you get the analysis and the real-time market calls of veteran talking about the AM, PM range. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And it's deadly. The dude is Carlos Hathcock. with a brokerage account. If anybody know who Carlos Hathcock is, props to you. Next motto. Just curious about your previous trade. How do you decide on long calls when prior? Hope that answered your question. 93 confirmed kills. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, he was. Very good man. One of my favorite books I read when I was in middle school. Does a veteran wear a feather in his hat while he trades? He should. He should. Big red candle. That's exactly why I wanted to exit that position right there. Booyah. That's correct, Tristan. That's correct. Let's see. Who else said something? How were you confident enough to enter that long? If it went against you right entry, where was your out? If I saw it's all about the price action. It's not necessarily one particular level alone. Yes, if we started to come below S2, S3 was going to be a decent level to look at. But if I saw, let's for example, you were to copy and paste this red candle right here and put it right here. If I enter this position and I see this candle, I'm out. Any kind of flushing engulfing candle that's not going to immediately get wicked out, I'm out, because that's going to be an incorrect entry. Sellers are going to flush this thing down. Now, if I saw something just a little bit of red here, and it's just kind of stretching the rubber band a little bit, I'll sit through that. But this kind of action after I enter, I'm out. And sometimes sometimes it's gonna happen. You're gonna take a high probability play that's right in advance of a unfortunate candle. It's gonna happen, but you got to take the higher probability trade, and sometimes you got to put that risk on the table. It happens. That's why I'm saying don't kick yourself and don't get all down on yourself when you take a losing trade, because sometimes it's just gonna happen, and it's nothing that you're doing wrong necessarily. It's just going to happen. You're welcome, Roy's in the chat. Well done. Well done. Dang, didn't realize there were so many veterans in here when I joined Semper Fi. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely, there's a lot, especially, me being in the military myself. It's always awesome to hear about other people and their service records. So I love talking about it. Do you believe that prices revert back to the VWAP most of the time? Most of the time, I would say I would venture out there that it happens most of the time. There's a reason why that line is so important. Is one that everyone plays it too. It's the volume weight average price, and that right there. I mean, the name is in itself tells you how important it is. It's the average weighting of all the prices. All right. Speaking of VWAP, touching it right now. We are oscillating right around it. Cannot break through it. VIX is on the upward trend, the slight upward trend here. I want to fund a new account to do spreads and SPX. How much capital would I need? Also, would you guys recommend any brokers? Oh man. Well, there's a lot of different arguments on how much you actually need to do spreads. You can do it under 25. You're going to be battling PDT and you're going to be battling PDT and margin restrictions. 25 will work. I mean, as long as you set realistic expectations and proper position sizes, you can do it with that amount of money, with smaller amounts of money. Just don't be utilizing 100% of your buying power. The problem with the smaller accounts is that you don't have the capital to defend positions in the event that you are wrong or the event that the market rallies against your short. And that's the problem. It's not necessarily not having enough money to make money. You can do that. It's not having enough money to defend the positions when you're wrong. Not to mention, anybody who's traded with a small account and wants to play both spreads and long positions at the same time, dumpster fire. It's difficult when you've got a small balance because you have to use up all your buying power to play the spreads. You enter long positions and you don't have enough buying power remaining to close out your positions. And you get that nice little notification, insufficient funds to close out your positions. And then you sit there and watch things go to the red, and you can't close them out unless you call. And you have to do a day trading override, which costs you day trading margin calls or day trading call, buying power call. And that's never fun for anybody. Anyway, what's up, Sam? How you doing? Bottom wicks on here again. Let's see if we can come back up, or do we fail the bottom range? I never play with Anchor VWAP. No, just regular. I have not, Dylan. Nice green candle off the bottom of the range here. Didn't play this trade. I'm going to let this thing shake out just a bit more. I had a fantastic little 60%er on that first play. I've made some dang good money this morning. I'm going to let this thing shake out, see what it's going to do, make sure we don't smoke that AM range, and go from there. And the losing trade talk we had about there earlier is that there's always going to be risk. Everyone has this weird, you know, I don't know, distaste for losses, which obviously no one likes losing money. I'm not saying that, but everyone's like, oh, you lost, haha, Bears Bulls, you lost, haha. But you have to understand, you have to take risks to make money. There's always risk involved, and it's your job to mitigate that risk and adjust a level of risk in proportion to the current volatility of the market. There is times to put on a lot more risk. There is times to take off risk, and so on and so forth. Now, that doesn't mean just throw money everywhere. You have to be very diligent. That's the whole point of risk mitigation. The more knowledge you have, the more you learn, the more risk mitigation efforts you put into place. And that's being a smart trader. Knowing when to put on risk, knowing when to take off risk. And when you do all your due diligence, you mitigate your risk, you make a nice sound technical play, and it still goes against you, so be it. It happens. As long as you have proper risk mitigation efforts into place, you're good to go. I can tell you control your emotions really well, and I believe that is half the battle. Well, that was half the battle, yeah, for sure. Because I was an emotional trader when I first started this. I would scream and yell, and every time I took a loss, I was like, oh, blah blah blah. I need to go drink beer and all that stuff when I was young. Woe was me. Why do I keep taking losses? I'll have 2 good weeks, and now I'm back break even. All that stuff. I used to do that. And it wasn't until I started managing my positions like a professional that I started making money consistently. And then after that, and all it was managing my emotions. That's all it was. Like I was smart enough to know how to do the charting. It was all about managing my emotions and cutting down position sizes and taking profits quickly and stop trying to YOLO and let runners run and try to get the big win. I was a young dumb kid. Some months ago, you were emotional taking 0 DTEs. I wouldn't call that emotional. I don't know. Anyway, that's enough philosophy for today, huh? Let's see if we can get into another trade here. We're at, right now on S1. You under, and that is why that red line is nice and bright, because that is a tough level right there. Topped out post hours on yesterday, and now we are oscillating around it right now. Yeah, the only time I scream and yell now is when I'm doing heavy squats. Like that video I posted back in the summertime of me maxing out. Yeah, that's the only time. Got to release the inner beast when you're squatting. And red candles on the NASDAQ coming back down to the morning range. Nope, actually I haven't PR'd anything this winter. To me, that's a failure, but I've been quite focused on growing this community this winter time. So. All right, here we go. On back down. Does this feel like a range day? So far it does. So far it does. Look at that. Killer day. Nicely done. Nicely done. Oof. Red candles. Now, that's an interesting candle right there. We popped the bottom of the range, just wicked under the range here. If we get a full candle close below that range, it's going to start to be dicey. That's an interesting price action there. However, be on the lookout for a bounce. Booyah. What I'm going to do personally, I'm going to bring up some 45-40 puts just in case we start to flush. Just in case we start to flush. If we flush, I'll go looking for the plunger because this thing's going down. All right, stand by on questions just yet. See what happens on this next candle. Important candle. What's going on with the... NASDAQ's still coming down. Should be an interesting time here. Let's see what happens. 453.89. Now, let me ask you a question. This is a little another philosophy or I guess a technical analysis question here. If you were to hold those calls that we took earlier, hoping for a big rally, you think we're going to blast up, you get this candle smokes you down on a zero DT position, you're going to destroy all your gains. Was it worth it? Maybe 3 times out of 10 you get the big rally, but the other 7 times you're going to have to fight losses. And then the emotions of, oh, I had 50% and now it's gone, woe is me. What do you think's worth it? Never worth it. Never, ever, ever worth it. Maybe 3 times out of 10 you'll get that big rally. So take positions off. Let one contract hold if that's what you want to do. But take the profits early. Now I'm sitting pretty on 60% booked. And I don't care about those red candles. They can't touch me. They can't touch me. Not pat myself on the back here. I'm just trying to make you think on a positive mindset, trying to get you a little bit more analytical. Next time that happens, next time you take a call and you want, man, if I hold on to it, it could blast off. Yeah, well, it could also fall back to earth. Anyway. Green candles off the bottom of the range. I feel attacked. Good. I want you to feel attacked. That's how you change. You change when you're being yelled at in the face. That's why you hate your drill instructors the first few months and you end up actually kind of liking them before you graduate basic training. Because they teach you to change. They get in your face. They stuff you in lockers and throw quarters at you and tell you to sing. Take the money and run. That's right, Steven. At that point, you just hold. No. You never want to hold on. Here's the deal. If I have a position, it goes against my thesis. If I'm scrambling to save that position, I'm out. I'm just closing it. It's not worth it. My thesis here was bottom wicks, VIX selling off, probable bounce. I got the thesis. Good to go. If I'm holding and then this happens, my thesis has failed or my thesis has been satisfied and now I'm just holding into the blank ether of space. No bueno. No thesis. It's just a purgatory play. I'm out. Pointless position. And that is the difference between making money and losing money. Or making money and not keeping your money. Buyers do seem pretty weak today. So I might so what I'm thinking here, especially with this kind of action, to follow along with my thesis that I posted in the OM analysis channel this morning, my pre-market analysis. In the later half of the day, I may take a 4 or 5 dated put, 4 or 5 day dated put, DTE put. Maybe a week and a half. I'll go out a little bit to reduce risk. You know me, I don't like taking risk. We'll see. I'm also going to start tranching some additional call credit spreads for Friday. Double bottom here, potentially. Right now, I've got puts up 44. What did I go with here? I've got the 45-40 puts up and ready in the case that we flush, because the flush will be more egregious than the bounce here. So, and I got to be quick on my toes, and I can always switch over to calls if we bounce. Currently, no positions. No positions. Oh man, yeah. I mean, I feel y'all on the losses, and I'm reading the comments here in the trading room. But Matt, like I'm telling you, I've been saying it since day one. Is managing your emotions is the biggest obstacle to becoming a profitable trader. You've got to be able to shed the losses quickly and shed the profits quickly. If you get a massive win, you don't need to be going crazy and all euphoric. You pat yourself on the back for a good trade and you move on. Because the second you get euphoric is the second you lose it. And then now the emotions are extreme the other way. Oh, I had that big money and I lost it. And the same thing, and here's the deal. I understand if you lost 90% of your portfolio and you're quite disheveled. However, there's a bigger issue here. You shouldn't be never ever be making a trade on which 90% of your portfolio is at risk. So, what I mean on managing emotions, if you're playing smart and you're taking losses just like everybody does, you don't need to be being super emotional. Give yourself some credit. Euro closes in less than an hour. Euro is in their power hour. Let's see what happens with them. Red across the board on. Look at that big red candle on the Deutsche market. Took out their lows of the day. So German market's forming new lows here. FTSE here is trading sideways, and the Swiss market had a big downswing here, and it looks like they're trying to give some of it back. SPY, a flush candle right there as well. Booyah. All right, bringing Poots up. Let's see, 45.40 Putin. Oh, man, that would have been a nice play. Dang. All right, let's see. I'm not buying this just yet. I'm not buying this just yet. Oh, look at that big old flush. Hit the plunger because it's going down. Boom. Watching the Euro markets here as well. As y'all notice, I'm flipping back and forth between those. Here, let me put on, I gotta put this on watermarks. Bam. There you go. Yep, we got more troops for Europe for sure. Well, let's take a look. There you go. If y'all want to take a look, there are the tickers for the Euro markets. You can go let you copy them down and read them right there yourself. They're definitely more than that, but those are the three I track. Green candle off of S3. I have got, what did I put down here? S1 and S4? Yeah, one and S1 and S4 are the two big ones. Does anybody use Bookmap? What's anyone's expectation or opinion of Bookmap? Just out of curiosity. Never used the product myself. All right, off of S3 climbing. That's a heck of a reversal candle right there. That looks like it was a stop loss candle. Looked like a stop loss hunt. Whoop-ah, sniped it. Look at that big green. Look at that. Booyah. Right through the 8. Bottom wicks across the board here. Do we get a double Uno reversal candle? Because that's a heck of a green candle after climbing up right there. Bam. Big red on the VIX. And a follow-on green. Let's see if we rally up. We got VWAP now. Why the 3-minute over any other chart? Oh, hold on a second. I want to see if I can make a tray here. Whew, man, that would have been nice. 45.65. Watch S1 here. Looks like we're climbing up. Don't chase, don't chase, don't chase. Be smart. Now, I'm watching a couple of things here. Look at the nice relative strength here. You got SPYs climbing up to VWAP. You've got the NASDAQ here. That's not quite getting the oomph that SPY has. VIX is coming off here. See this nice healthy red candle right there. I'm going to kind of make that bigger for you. Speaking of what's yesterday on that red candle, I was sitting here doing analysis on some levels, and I had this all the way zoomed in like this. And that candle wasn't there yet. I was looking for a pivot. And just a coincidence, like I had it always zoomed in, and I saw, wow. I was like, uh-oh, my chart's broke. Because this massive red candle all the way down. Yesterday when it finally broke down and we rocketed. Crazy stuff. Anyway, funny joke. All right, anyway, there is the VIX right there, currently. And red candle on the NASDAQ. And we're chopping at the bottom of the range. Should make for an interesting afternoon or an interesting late morning here. All right, looking at a play here. Starting to cross up again. Testing VWAP. Can we break VWAP and go? Or are we going to fail? VIX is still very red coming down. So here's my eyes right now are on the Nasdaq. I need the Nasdaq to start playing along because look at XLF. XLF is going nutty right now. Big strong action on XLF. The Nasdaq is not quite playing ball. If Nasdaq can play ball too, I mean we'll blow the top off the top of the range. But I need the Nasdaq to play ball. There we go. There's a little action. Can we get follow through? Can we get follow through? Nasdaq's got to go. VIX is still red, coming down a pivot. Nasdaq's red, trying to go green. It's not wanting to go. Not wanting to go. There goes the Nasdaq. Boom. Now we're climbing up. Watching the Nasdaq. Watching the Nasdaq. We needed to start coming off here. So watch this candle. This is an important candle right there. Important candle. Now watch this swing high. Watch this prior swing high as well. That 456.09 as we're climbing up there. But here's XLF. Look at that. Big, strong action on XLF. NASDAQ can't quite get there. What do I sometimes feel comfortable taking a put when the market's in a bullish trend and more feel free to ride the trend? Is this because I'm new? That's a very, very common, probably, I haven't made a Twitter post on this today. That's the most common problem with retail investors is they play counter trend. That's your Achilles heel. You play puts when you should be playing calls and the other way around. That's because of it's our human nature. We don't expect, when the market is very bullish and green, we don't expect it to keep on going. It's against our nature to say, all right, man, this is definitely going to keep on going and going and going and going. So, look at that reversal. Look at that reversal. The NASDAQ just won't come off. It just won't. XLF is nice and green here. But this just won't go. Just won't go. When the best thing you can do on a very bullish trade, which I feel you, my worst day It's not the crazy rally bulls. It's the grind up bulls. The days that it just grinds up and keeps on going, little bitty candles at a time. Not really any significant pullbacks. That's my worst trading day. It goes against everything that my eye naturally sees, and I have to rely big time on technical prowess. So I feel you. I fight that all the time. It's difficult, because it's our natural instinct, but you're not alone. You're for sure not alone. All right, got a little green here. Alrighty. That's why I sell time. Usually much more forgiving, and there is multiple points in time when you are green on the trade. Yeah. Why did the chart I see from YouTube, the Discord, different than YouTube? I don't know. Make sure you've got live hit. Obviously, there's about a 3 or 4 second delay on YouTube, so careful of that. There's some green on the NASDAQ finally. Yeah, selling time is good stuff, man. I like having a both. I like play both. I like playing long positions, and I've spent years refining my trading with longs. So I definitely will always do those. And then selling premium is a fantastic way to have the 1-2 punch. If you can do both successfully and have the know-how to do both successfully, you can open up a wealth of knowledge and information and understanding of the market. Red candle, Nasdaq. Let's take a look what Google's doing. Google's still putting in lows here. Amazon's at the bottom of their range, Microsoft and Apple. Red candle, Nasdaq, big old red candle here. Coming all the way back down to the bottom of this range. Interesting action. VWAP is no man's land at the moment. All right, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put in another swing low right there on these candles. NASDAQ, I'm going to do the same. These are scalping lines. These aren't trend lines. These are scalping lines that I want to scalp plays off of. I have real-time info on the NASDAQ. It's $2 a month. $2 a month on for TradingView. Nobody answered my question on Bookmap. Or no, one person did. One person did. So I guess it's not a widely used product. Look at that candle. Look at that candle. All right, bring it up, puts. Let's see if we could flush. The more times this happens, the less chances we have of a bounce. So I'm going to bring up 45.45 puts just in case we flush. What did XLF do? I bet you XLF, watch, we'll see. I'm going to flip over to XLF. I bet you they started selling too. A little bit. Right there, red candle. We've got about 35 minutes till Euro markets. They got some red. I'd be willing to bet we get some red into Euro. How about that? Who wants to bet we have red action into Euro close? I do take Venmo in the case I win that bet. Red than green. I feel you. I feel you. Thoughts on crypto as an indicator? I personally don't follow crypto, but all right, let's come down here. NASDAQ. XLF's got a green here. NASDAQ is still touching the top, or I'm sorry, the bottom of that range. Do a 0 DTE as a bet. Yeah. Yeah. I'd rather do a gentleman's bet. But I do want to monitor this. Let's see what happens. Last time I bet somebody and I lost, he didn't pay up, so I'll just stick with gentleman bets. That's right. That's right, Twizzy. That's right. What is one way to navigate to change habits? Get you a book, and I don't mean a tablet. I don't mean notes on your computer. I mean a hard back paper, like a physical paper book. Go down to Staples or whatever the heck, Walmart, and get you a book and take notes. Learn from people in this channel. Learn everything. To watch YouTube videos and take notes. Write down a system. At certain time this happens. At a certain pivot this happens. Write down rules and read them, where you can see them in front of your face without having to open it up an app. I've got a notebook in my hand right now that I've got notes, I've got systems, I've got adaptations to all my teachings right here, where I read every day, so I know at certain times this is what I expect. I know The past 3 days we have sold off and then bounced. Like, this is what I've got. And that's the only way to manage yourself. If you're going by the seat of your pants, if you're not adjusting, taking notes, adapting, monitoring it, adjusting, you're never going to get better. You're never going to move that needle because there's no needle to move. You're just, oh, well, I'm going to take calls today. Oh, crap, I lost. Well, I'm going to take puts today. Oh, snap. So you've got to do that stuff. Be an active student of the market. The market will teach you whatever it is you want to be taught, or it'll smack you down until you do it. There's nothing cosmic out there about losing money all the time. It's just the fact that you're not putting in the work. Yeah, all of tech looks like it's about to jump off a cliff right now. Uncle Bill. I'll pay him a visit for 10%. You got Billy two-timing over there. All right, another green up to the swing high. So what I'm doing, I'm watching these levels right here. I'm not interested in taking a call here. I want to take calls above or puts, maybe a rejection there. Here, same thing with the NASDAQ. NASDAQ does not want to climb. It's got Top Wick City. It's Top Wick City. What's that song? Little Journey. All right, there we go. Another red. Pale Papa. I love it. Yes, it is Hemingway Skelk. Yeah, got some crazy, wacky names. I wish it was just like Bob, Steve, Frank. All right, NASDAQ below the range again. Watch this swing low right here. I'm going to come here and I'm going to go bam. Watch that line right there. We take out that line and go. Starship? Oh, okay, sorry, my bad. This is much harder to trade. I will say it's much harder to trade while streaming than it is when I'm by myself, because I'm by myself. I dedicate 1.5 screens just to charts. I've got charts all over the place. I've got like 10 charts up, so I don't have to sit here and click all over the place like a crazy person. So I'm having to monitor a whole bunch of different stuff actively. Not to mention my streaming software, YouTube, Discord. My wife texted me going to get a protein shake. All right, coming down again. Watch this NASDAQ 15016 is the level I'm looking at. We are currently at 32 and falling. VIX bounced off our 2173 pivot. Let's see where we're going. Currently, I have 45.45 puts up on SPX. Currently trading for $8.10 a piece. A flush will turn these into $12 to $14 pretty quick. NASDAQ needs to go, though. NASDAQ needs to go. There we go. Follow. Oh, look at it. Look at it. Crap. All right, hold on. Let's see if we can do this. Watch this follow-on candle. What's Right now, Europe is not falling just yet, but it's looking iffy. Come on, baby. Bottom wick again off that. See? Watch this swing low. Watch it. Watch it. Don't get crazy just yet. Wait for it to be taken out. Wait for a close. Wait for a close. And a bounce right there. Now there's no. I'm in no trade, so it doesn't count in emotion because I'm not in a trade. But I feel you. I feel you. Nice Friends reference. Absolutely. Absolutely. 26 minutes till Euro close. I've got now $8.70 on these puts. $8.70. OM says pivot weird. No, that was a Friends reference. That's the reason why I said pivot instead of pivot. But it's a raw scalar thing. That's right. But down in the south, they say pivot. They say pivot down here. I was born a male, so I've never seen Friends. Burn. I love it. At the eventual OM Live conference, I just know he's going to make fun of my Okie accent. No. You have to realize my family's all northern. We just moved to the south when we were young to get away from the dumpster fire that was New York City at the time before Giuliani cleaned it up. At least that's what my dad told me. So I'm like a day walker. I'm a day walker. It's scary how accurate that statement is, Chew. Scary. At first, you're like, no, I ain't watching this. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. It's like, I ain't watching this. No, I'm not doing it. And then you're like, hey, what happens to Ross and Rachel? Anyway, all right, so what state do I live in? I live in a southern state. Hey, red candle here, SPX. Let's watch this swing low again. This 15018. Broken low. I've got $10. No positions yet. 15. Oh, well, 16. Look at that flush. God, it's going down. Swiss coming down. Decision. Wait for the close. We're not going to be chasing candles here. Don't go chasing waterfalls. Any books to recommend studying price action? Highly recommend. Highly recommend. Complete Guide to Holy crap! I just lost everything. Complete Guide to Volume Price Analysis by Anna Coling. I've got a price on my website, theoptionsmillionaire. Not. I've got a link to it, theoptionsmillionaire.com. If you go to that, it actually has a link to all of the books that I recommend at the moment. So definitely take a look. Have I wrapped my pipes yet? No, I have not wrapped my pipe yet. Yeah, we're in the south. We don't get all that cold action. I did see that the west is getting some pretty heavy cold temps, but all right, here we go. Watch this. I know we like to have fun, but let's take a look at this one action because this is about to get dicey. Whew, man, look at this. This thing is shaking and baking. That's what I'm saying. Don't chase. Don't chase. I got 15.016 on the Nasdaq. SPX is trying to get there. They are. That's what I'm saying, man. This looks iffy, man. This looks iffy. Look at the VIX. Watch that. What's going on? So the FTSE is starting to come down a little bit. I didn't think we'd get this much bearishness this early. I thought this would come later in the day, so I'm adjusting my strategy and my mindset. We got 20 minutes till the euro close here. Let's see what happens. Green candles across euro. And now green candles on NASDAQ and SPY. Man, this thing is shaking. Right now, I'm on the 3 minute, and it's coming on down. There it goes. There it goes. Let's get that follow through. There goes the NASDAQ. All right. How far is it going to go? NASDAQ, I mean, the SPX still can't, SPY still can't form new lows just yet. Getting a little bit more relief there. XLF is now red as well. It just can't get the flush. It's just kind of just popping up, fluctuating. Can't get the flush. Red candles across the board in euro, ate up the green. And it's not going to do it. Just not going to do it. Yeah, this chop the action chews you up. It's difficult because you get right now. We just want to get that flush. It's not quite getting there. I feel you. I feel you. Red across the board here. NASDAQ's playing with fire at the moment. There it goes. Oh, Flush City. Boo. Yeah. Look at that. How far are we going to go now? Now, down we go. Boom. And going. And down we're going. All right, POC on the SPY. NASDAQ coming 14,966. Swiss is definitely tanking. By the way, I won the bet. 14,966 here. SPY is coming on down. And right there, 1270. Bottom wick, 14,972. Let's see if we can fill out that candle. VIX climbing up, form new highs on the VIX, and now filling out the bottom of this candle. Do we get another follow on? Is it going to keep going? Looking iffy. Looking iffy. Watching the NAS. Watching the NAS. Can we get lower lows in the NASDAQ? XLF is not nearly as bearish as the NASDAQ for sure. If we can get that downside, man, it's sayonara. Sayonara. Still falling. Still falling. All right. More downside. Look at that. Flush City. Coming down to S4. S4 is a strong level. So if we can make it all the way down there, man, oof. Oof. NASDAQ still making new lows. XLF finally broke. A little more at least. Tesla's down 3.8. They're usually either down or up big. They're crazy, never flat. All right, let's put in a Vivid for the picks. VIX here. I just said a Vivid for the picks. That ain't no good. All right, 2296 will be at 1, but it's not going to be all that big. I would say the more important one is going to be this up here, this 2353. So look for a potential bounce after the closing of the euro. Nice big green candle here. So we've got 453.73. We had a nice little flush. Didn't quite go all the way down there. NASDAQ definitely more bearish. And that's why right there. All the other X's are still supporting the SPY. Q's a lot more bearish, of course. Here, I'll save the chart there. So I just did. So you'll see that new line pop up if you're following my on my chart. So we're bouncing right on S3. I would not do PCSs, no. We just put in new lows after 10:30 or 11:30 here, or getting close to it. We just pop new lows here. We need to see how the rest of the morning takes. But right now, I would not be doing PCSs. Especially, I mean, my personally, I've been very vocal about this one, is that I do think we're going down further in the afternoon. Um, so me personally, I'm not taking PCSs. If anything, I would be looking at some higher up CCSs, but only after we get the setting here in the next few minutes. See how this price action reacts. Why do you think I have a red afternoon? The way the price action is coming out at me, not to mention the volume. I just think the way it looks like we're going to have at least a red afternoon. At worst, I would probably say chop sideways. At best, for at least if you're looking at the downside, at best we have some pretty decent selling into the afternoon. Big, strong upward action on the bonds. 20-year just broke out. The TLT just broke out of the top new highs, going back to yesterday's pre-market. 143. Rates are dropping, so now 1.76 on the rates and dropping down on the 10-year. SPY is now climbing back up just a touch. NASDAQ is weaker. Oh, no, it's just weak. It's just weak. Got a little green here, some weak green coming up again to that swing low on the NASDAQ. Upwards trending VIX, we've got a downwards trending SPY, bouncing off lower and lower. Let's see now. Right now, VWAP is the same, just about the same as S1, which is a strong level. Let's see if we can make it to there and how we react when we do get there. Sentiment on SPY through 214, currently holding some nice positioned 460 calls. I do think we're going to face some downside going into the next few days. So whatever that would be, leave it up to you how to translate that into your long-term calls. But that's me. And then that's also notwithstanding of any kind of Russia action because you can't price that in. It's pretty common for sell-offs to happen after good earnings. It's common. I mean, look at Amazon. They blew it out of the water 2020, 2021, and they sold off almost every time. Significant sell-off. So it's pretty common. You get that run-up into earnings. You get that expectation, the IV increase, the run-up, and then the event actually happens, and then bam, price decays. So all right, coming up on the 11:30 Europe Open. We got that downside into close, which was what we were talking about earlier. There it is on FTSE, the UK. There it is on Swiss, and there it is on the Germans. And then right here, we've got the more buy up here coming up of S3 and climbing. Depending on how we close today, I will consider some maybe a potentially. If I do anything, it'll be on futures. It won't be on a regular contract. So I'll look at futures to short into tomorrow. If depending on today's close, depending. If for some reason we blast up to 4,600, I will absolutely take puts going into tomorrow. It'll just be on futures. If we tank today, it depends on how hard we tank. If it's just a little downside, maybe even still. But if we smoke it, I don't know. It all depends on where, when, and how it happens. If it's the last 30 minutes, no. I don't really trust the price action in the last 30 minutes of the day. There's too many variables to go into analysis when you're considering the last 30 minutes of the day. It all depends. There's a lot of dynamic here. Yep. I always say open when I mean close. I always say that. Yeah. Close. Euro close. My bad. All right, there is the close. Let's see how this market starts to react. There's some red. Big flush in the UK. Look at that. And just over S2, now under S2. And VIX is coming on down. Man, look at that. Even more downside there. Give it all back that afternoon gain for them, our morning. And still falling. Red candles across the board. And a little red here translating to our futures. Boom, smoke. All right, it's 11:31 Eastern time. We're now between S2 and S3. Downside on the close of Euro. And UK is still falling. And still falling. Currently looking at the 4560 calls on February 2nd, just under S2. That's right, Phil. Thank you. That's one of the things I pride myself on, is being as patient as I can. I have no problem sitting here taking 0 trades. All right, let's see here. Looking through the options chain, look at 4560s right now. I'm going to test some calls here. Just took a position on the 4560s. I will watch these closely and put a stop on them once if these do fail, but we'll see. I see some bottom wicks going on here. I see the VIX got some top wicks. We're still holding just over S3. So more of a speculatory play. That's when I'm being careful, but we'll see what happens here. Not going to let them run in the event that things break down. Because if we break down and form new lows, it's going to get dicey. Let's see, right there. right. Still holding just under S2. This green candle's not moving all that much here. I'm going to give this a few more potatoes. A few more potatoes. Not liking it. Not liking it. Green candle on the UK. All right. I need some follow through here. Need some movement. We need some movement. I don't want to battle this position. Let's see. Fighting the 8 EMA right now. We need to break that release and maybe test VWAP. We'll see. Even if VWAP would be a good little win here. XLF, big green candle on the XLF here. So we just need NASDAQ to play along to get some oomph. Still holding S2. Stagnant. No movement. No movement. Just waiting. Just waiting. I got $9.70 on these, now $10, now $9.90. So fluctuating just a bit. This candle is pretty indecisive here. I'm going to zoom out and let's go to the 60, which has got a bottom wick red candle. Maybe we could flip that thing green. We'll see. 15-minute. Bottom wick red candle on the 15, breaking back inside the range. There's the 5. We got a green candle on the 5-minute. And there's back on the 3. Let's come back. Red candles across the board here. And coming on down. Don't like it. Do not like it. How do you execute the contracts faster? There's a couple of things you can do. One, I know in E-Trade I removed the preview function, so all you have to do is hit execute and you're in the trade. You don't be greedy on your bids and asks. Like, you have to pick something realistic unless you're looking for a specific target and let the price action goes into it. But on the entries, you just want to get in the position. Big downside action here. No bueno. All right. Out of that play. I don't like that. Out at 870. No thanks. Let me post this real quick. And that's going for a new low. NASDAQ new low after 10 on 1038 right there. SPX is trying to go for it, but no thanks. No thanks. And right there. The NASDAQ just will not play ball. Right now, the XLF is was very green, nice and upward trending, but the tech is just getting smoked. It can't have any buyers right now. It's just getting smoked with sellers. So, yeah, we have to be careful right there. Now that we put in new lows, where are we going to go from there? We need a bounce here, otherwise it's going to get very dicey, and I'm going to start playing some puts. NASDAQ cannot hold a green candle to save its life today. It's just down. Look at that. Crazy. Looking at the 40, let's see, 45.40 puts right now. Let's do 40, yeah, 45.40 puts right now. All right, well, not a lot of movement here. NASDAQ is holding us down, and we'll see if we can get a bounce. Man, if you would have held that position, it would have been just fine. Dang it. It's all right. We'll get another one. No big deal. Green candle's up to 473.70 and climbing back up. It is 10:40 Central, 11:40 Eastern. I'm going to go ahead and call that a morning. See if we can go get me some lunch, protein shake, and then I'll come back refreshed to make a little more money, some trades, and help y'all. So let me know if you got any questions about anything you saw this morning, any questions about content, discussion, plays, post them in the room, or you can shoot me a DM. Thanks for hanging out with us on YouTube. If you are new to the channel, we do this every Monday, Wednesday, Friday on YouTube. I'll be back again on Friday morning. If we get a little more action worth trading, we'll come back on Discord for the afternoon. Hope you all have a good rest of the day. Please be safe. Don't chase anything, and make sure you're playing smart. I'll see you later. I'm out.